Ladies and gentlemen, this is Spartyka!
Welcome to SFL Radio. I am your host, Mikey V.
And I'm Chris Alani.
And we are here with Jimmy Spartyka, fresh off of SFL 37.
Yeah, man, what an awesome event. So that was our Friday night fights. It's been 2 years. We got last year was the first time in 6 years that we had a Saturday available. So we haven't done a Friday night event since January 17, man. We had a great crowd, great event, 18 bouts.
It was like a party in there, man. It was like,
Yeah, it was insane.
And you said what about a little over 3,000, right, in the audience?
Yeah. So we had a huge crowd, over 500 people on the floor. 18 bouts, 3 title bouts, 1 super bout. First 105 female bout. That was pretty insane. People are still talking about
They got fight of the night, right?
oh, yeah.
They did not. Fight of the night.
No, they didn't.
No. Yeah, so Elise Reed got Fighter of the Year, which has been a little bit controversial. Mr. Tate, that'll be on here in a little bit. They ended up getting Fighter
That's
of
right,
the
fight
night.
of the night. Yeah, that's right. So we're actually here with Darryll Tate tonight. We're going to be bringing him on. He's got, you can see his gold right on the table.
We kind of missed him on the actual night, but
Yes.
he'll tell us exactly why he went in the back.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I think of all the events that we've done since you guys have been on board, I think Darryl's the only guy to miss it.
Yes, he is.
It's crazy.
He
Even
is.
the first event, we were expecting we're probably going to miss a couple of people here and
Yeah,
there.
'cause they didn't know-
Every
they-
single person made it to the
I was gonna-
table.
even people
Every
who
single
didn't,
one.
even people who didn't win came and interviewed
Exactly.
with us, and I
Even
was
the
like,
coach. I think the very first one we had a coach.
Yeah, we
had
did.
ring announcers. We had
Ring
Yeah,
girls.
it was funny.
Kinds
Is
of
I
people.
made eye
Darryll
contact
Tate,
with Darryll. I made eye contact with him, so he saw
only
us.
one.
Yeah.
The
It's not
only
like he
one.
didn't see
That's
us.
right. Well, it was for good.
It's all
it was,
good though. So we drug him in here tonight, made him wait a little bit, made him pay for dissing us on fight night. No
That's
big
right.
deal.
But now he gets his own
And now he gets his
solo
own
interview.
episode, yeah.
Yep, and we got his coach in here, so we'll throw him on as well.
Excellent.
He's a military vet, so it'd be pretty cool having those guys on. But yeah, man, it's a super exciting event. I mean, leaving like directly after the event, flying to Cancun for the Bare Knuckles event, and getting back in town like 2 days ago.
That looked like a lot of hard work.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
right.
Flooded since I've been home trying to catch up. Everybody seems to be wanting to get on this next card. So
Yep.
there's
And
always
that's,
all the excitement directly after her event. Then,
SFL 38 April.
yeah. And
6th.
then as the weeks start passing and everybody comes off that high, then all of a sudden injuries start popping up.
Yep.
People's cats are sick. And like, as we get close to the event, like the adrenaline isn't what it is like it is right
Jimmy's
now.
fight card woes.
It's crazy, man. That last fight card, I mean, we probably lost enough people to build like the next 4 fight cards after the rest of it. It's insane, like how many fight. And people are always like, "Why do you stack them so high?" It's like, man, you know,
You have to.
You have
For that
to.
reason.
Well, it's funny. Somebody was asking me in the audience that question. They're like, "There's a lot of fights tonight," and I said, "Well, he has to stack like 25 fights because he knows that a lot of people last minute are going to bow out."
Ever since, so the first couple of events, I didn't deal with the fight card. We had a director of ops at the time that dealt with this. So my very first actual matchmaking was SFL 9, and I'll never forget it. So we had, 21 fights at 5 o'clock or 2:30 when I showed up at Hampton Coliseum. We had 21 bouts. 3 hours later, when we opened the door to the public, we were down to 14. I lost 1/3 of the fight card.
Wow.
3 hours before the door
That's
opened.
crazy.
So imagine if I would have only done like
14
fights
Yeah,
or
yeah.
12
Yeah.
fights. I'd have been down at 5 or 6. So you got to stack
Yeah.
high. There's, with amateur MMA in the state of Virginia, like there's no contracts. It's verbal agreement. You can't bind anybody by any kind of contract. So it's one of those deals where you're just hoping that enough people will keep their word.
Yeah.
There's a lot of money being floated to make the event happen. A lot of work goes into it, and you just hope enough people show up. So this event, surprisingly, I showed up with 17 bouts. And about 3 or 4 bouts changed throughout the day.
Yep.
But by the time we opened the door to the public, it was the only event where we ended up with more fights.
So you gained a fight.
We gained a fight. We changed 3 fights around,
Yeah.
but we also gained a fight. So I showed up with 17, and when the bell rang and doors opened, we
Yeah.
ended up having 18. So
It was great.
I remember people were looking around. I was like, is it a lot later than I remember? Like, it was like people.
I think
Yeah.
I think we ended around the same time.
Yeah, it was about normal time.
Was it about normal time?
Yeah, it was. It was a little bit later.
We definitely pushed the tempo.
Yeah.
I think that was
we
it.
were just pushing it. We weren't doing as long in between intermissions. We didn't run as many commercials.
That's right.
I'll
I'll tell you, we had a lot.
man.
We had a lot more interviews than we normally do, and I think what's cool for us with SFL Radio, it's April will be 1 year that we came on with you, and the fighters are really starting to use us as a platform, which I like. We're getting a lot more of the winners and losers coming off together and sitting down with us. We had,
So again,
I
just to
think,
be clear, so April was the first event. So we did April, we did June,
Yes.
we did August, we did October.
Yes.
We just did SFL 37. So
Yes.
5 events. Darryll Tate's the only guy to skip out. I just want to make sure that we got the numbers right.
crushing.
So
Yes.
5 events. Darryll Tate's the only one to skip out on SFL Radio.
But
he's actually going to cost me money because ever since the last fight, I keep having Mikey in my ear like, man, we need a backdrop, we need a banner, we need something
right,
behind us
that's
so
right.
people can see us. Darryll Tate missed us because there was nothing behind us.
Yep.
I need you to spend some money and,
That's right.
and buy some stuff so people
That's
know that
it.
we're
Because
here.
eye
And I'm
contact
like,
wasn't enough.
we
We have
I
to
mean,
have
we
a banner
elevated
behind
the stage, so we went from no stage to a
Yeah.
stage. We've elevated you guys.
well, they used to
That's
stick
not
us in the
enough.
corner,
Yep.
and then no one knew we were there, and then they finally
They thought
put
we
us
were
up
a
on
vendor.
risers.
Like we were selling SFL
People were like, "Yeah, what are you
stuff."
selling?" And I'm like,
I was
"Oh, it's not."
yeah, where'd you get those T-shirts? I want to buy one.
And we had no lights. Now we have lights. And speaking of sponsors, we're hoping maybe. But Rich Energy, shout out, and Future Outlook Group, Lance Henderson, for bringing Rich Energy to us. I actually sell this in my shop where
Nice.
we are present right now, Primo Cigars and Coffee, downtown Norfolk. But there's an amazing energy drink getting launched tomorrow in the United States. Kind of stoked that I got to
Yeah, it's
sell
pretty
it,
cool.
sell
It
a little bit
all-
early.
Yeah, man, it all kind of worked out. So we're
Yeah.
already in here tonight. We're doing a podcast. Happen to be on the eve of this thing launching.
Yeah, so we're
Rich
sitting here
Energy.
drinking it.
So I'm assuming their sponsorships are probably pretty rich. So we're looking forward to that. I see
Maybe I'll get
everybody
my-
laughing now. I don't know.
I'll get my backdrop maybe. Who knows? But I'm
There
excited.
we go with the plug again about the backdrop.
But I'm excited. I'm gonna keep getting it. I get my
I know.
backdrop.
You'll get it.
But I'm
Squeak.
excited that they got a Formula One car. So at the big scheme of things, a Formula One car, what's a backdrop, really?
What's a backdrop?
what's a backdrop?
What is a backdrop?
So SFL
Squeaky wheel gets the grease.
Sure does.
I've learned that throughout my military career, and Mikey is proven that to
Yes.
be true.
Heck yeah.
Man, I tell you what, like, man, it'd be pretty cool to maybe put a Formula One car inside the arena.
Right.
Kinda how we have the Toyota truck in there. I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe
I
that's
know,
something
that
we
might
could
work,
work
yeah.
at. Might be kind of cool. Maybe
kind of
have
a-
the ring girls around it. Maybe
Yeah.
do some photo ops and pictures.
It's a
I don't know, something
pricey
think
thing to
about.
bring in, but
Something to think about.
Lance is like, stop.
I was like, y'all gotta put me
Cut.
on the, you gotta put me on the
Cut.
spot.
All right, well, I don't want to take up too much time. I just want to thank everybody that came out. SFL 37 was a great success. 18 bouts, 3 title fights. Big shout out to the winners that night. AJ Patterson looked great. He got submission of the night. Darryll Tate's coming on here. Newly crowned 170 champ. They got fight of the night. And Elise Reed, I've seen a little bit of hate and discontent floating around. But honestly, if you really went back, watched the fight, took the factor out that it's your little brother, your friend, or your cousin, or your son, or he trains at your gym, and really looked at the Elise Reed fight, I mean, she was just unstoppable. She beat a lot of submissions, got out of a lot of submissions. I mean, she was just dominant.
It seemed like she had an answer for every single thing
She
that was
did.
thrown at
She
her.
did. So I think if you really looked at it, and you didn't have a favorite in the fight,
Of course.
because it's funny when I look back and I see the comments, and I never comment. Like I don't run down that rabbit hole. I don't
I
waste
do.
my time with it. I know you do.
I've watched it unfold many times.
I think she definitely earned it. She was supposed to fight on the last card at 115. She's kind of small. She normally weighs in light. She hasn't fought for us since she fought Tara Reid. And when her and Tara fought, it was crazy because that was the first female fight we had in like 4 years.
Yeah.
And that was a great fight. And then from there, for people that don't know, she's in the Army, and she's a reservist. So she had that fight, and she went to Kuwait for a year.
Yep.
Came back. So she's an Army captain, VMI grad. She says that she, punches bricks or hits like bricks or whatever her hashtag is, but no doubt, man. I mean, that chick is an animal. Hats off to her. She definitely earned it. For those people that are complaining,
Suck it up.
you already get a plaque. Like, we already do a plaque. Everybody gets a petition, like a part. What are they called?
Participation trophy.
Participation. Yeah.
You get a participation plaque if you win. You get a medal. We do these exotic belts. It's like, come on, man. Like, how much more do you want? Let the girl have her
That's
minute
it.
piece.
That's
If
it.
you want to complain, shoot me an email. I just hate when I plug people and I'm congratulating them, and then, like, instead of people just doing the thumbs up or thanking them, you get people going back and forth, running
Yeah.
their mouth. Like, do that on your own page. Do it on my page. Don't disrespect the fighter. Like, she had nothing to do with that. I don't even have nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
I'm so busy running around. For people that don't know, I don't pick the winners. The way it works is the people that sit ringside, referees, judges, commentators, ring announcers, they watch every single fight. They submit on their own who they think wins in these different divisions. I tally up the count. She won hands down. It wasn't even close.
We've talked about that. We've talked about that on the cast before.
I feel like I have to reiterate it just because I see the comments
we're the
and I see
only
people
ones
complaining, but like
we're the
hands
only ones
down,
that don't.
I count them out. Unless there's a tie, I jump in there and break the tie. But there was no tie.
Yeah.
Like she won it. You know, hats off to her. If you want to complain, inbox me. But when she's tagged into it and her gym's tagged into it and you're sitting there running your suck and you're upset about it, it's like, you're just kind of crapping all over the fighter that just won the award. Like, she didn't deserve that.
I was thinking about a SFL Radio Crybaby edition where we bring on the people that want to whine and you can sit with me one-on-one and we'll talk about it.
We'll talk about your feelings,
I'm not even going to go down that rabbit hole, I'm pretty sure.
I love that stuff.
You can have that. I'm not going to deal with it. So, anyway, again, I want to thank everybody for coming out.
Absolutely.
We're currently taking fighter contact forms right now for the next fight.
SFL 38.
Darryll being the brand new 170 champ, I've already got people knocking on that door left and right, asking to compete against them. That's the way it works when you're on top. Look at Conor McGregor. Look at anybody that's a champ. Like, once you're up there, everybody wants a piece of it. So, it's not surprising now that Darryll won. My inbox is already asking. Already had some requests. So we're looking forward to a really cool show, April 6th, and it's going to be insane because we've got our 11th annual Wounded Warrior 5K, 30 March. That's on a Saturday. 1 week later, we've got the SFL 38, and the very next morning we have our Valor Forever 5K. So in 8 days, we're doing 3 events.
When is there a local? One of those 5Ks local?
Both those 5Ks are local.
You want to do one?
I'll aggressively walk one.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah.
I don't run.
Yeah, I'm in.
Unless Darryl's chasing me, then I'll run. But other than that,
I'll swing my arms and everything.
30 March, the 11th annual Wounded Warrior 5K. That'll be down at the ocean front. 1 week later, we'll be at the Ted Constant Center for SFL 38. The very next morning, we'll be back down at the ocean front for the Valor Forever 5K.
I like it.
So 3 events, 8 days, all right here in Hampton.
It's going to be busy.
It's going to be insane. It's going to be busy. So I'm going to go ahead and jump off this thing again. Thank you guys. Thank you for
thank you for
everything
coming
that
on.
Thank you,
Always.
Mr. Spartyka.
I appreciate it. Yes, sir.
Can't wait for that backdrop.
SFL Radio.
Welcome back to SFL Radio. I'm your host, Mikey V.
And I'm Chris Solani.
And we are here with the 170-pound champ, Darryll Lee Tate.
The real.
Say hi, man.
Hey,
Get a little closer. Get a little closer.
hello. How's everybody doing?
How's it going, champ? And we have his coach, Ron Manus, here from Cobra Con.
How's it going, you guys?
Very good. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having us.
So you kind of lucked out because we talked about it. You were the only fighter in almost a year that didn't sit down with us. But now you get to sit down with us in my shop privately, which is kind of cool.
He may have figured out the loophole, like how to get his own show. Like just walk right past us.
No, but I want to put this out there for the fighters. Don't think that if you skip out on us, you're going to get to come do this.
Yeah.
You got to be a champion at least.
You got to leave.
Yeah, you got to come here with a belt.
Only chance. If you don't got a strap, you ain't coming here. So, no, I'm just kidding. Well, once again, congratulations on the title win. How's it feel?
It feels great. It feels surreal. I've asked my fiance several times if this actually happened, and it's just now really settling in. So
Nice. And she's here with us today too. Yes. Does he wear it around the house, the belt?
Did he though? You can be honest with us. This is about the fighters. This is what this show's about.
Maybe one time. Maybe one time.
In the shower.
So normally we get you guys, right after you come out of the ring, you're usually, covered in sweat, covered in blood, obviously very emotional. You were extra emotional that day, which we're going to talk about. But, this is kind of unique because we get to sit down with you, and it's been, almost a week now, so you've gotten to settle down.
Yep, he gets to marinate, let it sink in.
yeah.
So now that you've, because usually when we talk to the fighters, it's like right after the fight, they're amped up. So, like I said, broken toes, stuff like that. But now that y'all let him marinate, like, how's everything going for you right now? Has it now that you've actually thought about it? We hit with the hard-hitting questions here.
I don't know. It still just feels surreal.
Yeah.
I guess that's just the best way I can put it.
So
Everything's still kind of settling in. I feel like I'm going to trip over a rock and wake up. And yeah.
So you did, what I thought was kind of cool is that you, the last time you fought for us was October of 2017.
Yeah.
And then you took some time off after that. Was that because of an injury?
It was because of an injury.
Okay.
Big injury.
Was it? What was that?
Broken jaw.
Ooh, and that was with the fight with Ryan Parker, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So, the jaw is 6 weeks, 8 weeks, but I wanted to make sure it was good. I could definitely take shots, and that wasn't an issue. He had some really good heavy sparring going on, and I wasn't even thinking about my jaw, so I knew it was good.
And then this fight, you came off with a broken toe?
Yeah.
Way better than a broken jaw, though, right?
Oh, yeah.
If you had to compare the two.
Yeah, I'm blessed. It's just a toe.
Yep.
It's a mere flesh wound.
And you came in Chuck Taylor's, which, I mean, that's pretty hardcore.
It is.
Because those things hurt my feet with regular, not hurt feet. So
I have to put insoles in mine. You don't have to worry about that. Like, I have to put, like, orthopedic stuff in there just to make that work.
Right.
But actually, I was gonna comment after they announced it. You were pretty emotional in the ring, man. Like I saw there was a lot of emotion. There was a lot running through your mind right there. I saw that, and I was like, well, this obviously meant a lot to him. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, I dedicated the fight to my dad. He passed late last year, and I was actually talking to him about the fight before he passed. It was all happening around the same time. When I got the word that I was up next for the belt, and in and out the hospital. It was just a lot going on. And digest all at once. So to win it, say I was going to win it, then actually win it. It really meant a lot.
Yeah, and I'm sure he was looking down on you, and he'd be super proud of you for your win. Coach, with obviously such a long gap in between fights, how did you get him ready for this?
Well, we had the opportunity to kind of design. One of the things you do when you're doing a fight camp is design against an opponent. Even though if you're watching videos, stuff like that, you still have to make a guess of what's going to be the best way to approach that. And so we really didn't focus on anything outside. We brought in 3 people to help us with the camp, and we designed it so that A, we could take into consideration the possibility of a jaw problem, B, focus on how much the caliber of his jiu-jitsu has been brought up just over the last year with the injury, yet he was mouse shut and just train a lot, and then do a lot of focusing on giving him someone really heavy to spar against, so he had to really push off and use a lot of tempo for that. And then when we approached the subject about the emotional side of it and trying to keep it tempered, and so I put him in a position to coach classes, so he had to focus on helping other people too.
That's great.
And so he's running a kickboxing class for me, and it got him the ability to focus on something other than his personal journey, where he could just say, I'm gonna focus on helping these people through this journey. So it helped a lot to be able
that's
to do
great.
that, sure.
I got a question for you, Ron. So what would you say, since you're his coach, obviously, what would you say that his work ethic is? Like, what would you describe him as when he's training?
Oh, man. One of the things that I think people are surprised about with him is the how strong he is just inherently. Just a blessing to have the kind of strength that he has. Not from working out. So it's just one of those, from a leverage viewpoint. I'm a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, so I'll use a lot of leverage. Plus, I'm older, so, and I get, his just ability. But it's his mental fortitude to stay calm, really, no matter what. And everything is, even though he's emotional after the fight, it was very, one of the things I did to him is I didn't let him sit down. He wanted to sit down when he spit his mouth guard and he walked over towards me and he wanted to sit down. I said no, and I held him. And I took a moment to try to present myself in the father way, which is to hug him and tell him that I had so much respect for him and how much I love him and how he worked so hard for this. And it was a special moment to stand here and just kind of hold. And he did. He just stood there and held me for a second. That's Darryll. The very calm, wow, this is crazy, but I'm going to stay calm and cool. It's amazing. His work ethic is amazing. Just such a calm, focused young man.
Yeah.
Really.
Let's say look, when I first spoke to you, you're very mild mannered and you're very calm and you're just soft spoken, and
which can't be the same for some of the fighters in his league.
You're right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Some of them could take some lessons on that.
Yeah.
But you watching you in the ring, because I saw you fight before I spoke to you, and watching you fight, it is a very different person. But what I did like, and we talked about it, there was so many reversals, there was so many escapes. Mm-hmm. The fight went back and forth so much, and you kept that composure. Mm-hmm. Both of you guys did.
I think I commented as literally the most awesome technical fight I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah.
There was literally reversal after reversal after reversal after. It was wild. I felt like I was watching a video game.
Yeah. And I feel like the people watching that really understand jiu-jitsu and really understand the fight game, I think appreciated it more than the average person. I mean,
Sure,
it wasn't so much like a stand-up brawl or anything, but from a technical side, it was the most interesting fight. I mean, if you watch the interviews, and I don't remember exactly like who we were interviewing at that time, but you could see us talking, and then we would like look up at this, and like I had to edit out the pauses because we would be like, oh, hold on a second, and we look up at the screen, and we'd be like, oh crap, oh God.
Well, we followed a game plan based on basically the thing that I wanted to capitalize on was jiu-jitsu. Now, Darryll has an amazing striking, wears a 2XL glove. He hits like a Mack truck. But there's just times where he just doesn't want to do that at that moment. And so we capitalized on something that I knew would play into it. And this is the job of a coach, is to do the best you can for your fighter, but not let them know you're doing that. I knew that we weren't concerned about the jaw, but I didn't want it to be an issue. So I told him and his trainers, we had a young man for Muay Thai, we had a young man for just the hitting and training of the heavy guy, and then we had a mitt trainer, and I'm kind of doing like a dance to get everybody to do all their work. I wanted Darryll, when he got hit, to imagine I'll take the person down. Like, boom, you go take him down.
Yep.
Like, you punch his face, boom, take him down. Don't stand there and bang. And he did exactly that.
Yeah.
Boom, he got hit, just put him on his butt, And it got to capitalize on the strength that he has in his jiu-jitsu. He would get, the reversal would come and he would just power back over the thing. And the one thing that we did talk about with my brown belts and stuff when we're talking about jiu-jitsu and stuff is the amazing ability for Kyle to get out of that Kimura was just sick. And he was screaming the whole time when the Kimura was on. He was like, ugh, like he was like yelling at him. Darryll just had it cranked down. We were like, oh. And it was a great play on both young men. Really fighting hard for that. Yeah.
Definitely, yeah, and that was fight of the night and definitely well deserved.
Well, I got a quick question for you, Darryll. Since we kind of heard it from your coach, what's your perception of training underneath Ron? How do you feel about him? Is he like a drill sergeant?
It's very family oriented. It's
You can pretend he's not here, by the way. Like,
Yeah,
it's like a household. It doesn't feel like you're walking into a business to do business and learn a craft or whatever. You're learning your craft and you're being critiqued, and every now and then you get the side eye, like
Yeah.
You know what that means.
Yeah.
But it literally feels like I'm leaving my house to go to my house to learn stuff with my family.
How long have you been training at the gym?
4 years. About 4 years.
Okay. I mean, we got guys
How
who
long
switch
have you been
gyms every
training?
6 months.
I was gonna say those guys that seem like, or they'll lose like one bout and then all of a sudden they want to change camps, because they think that was the reason. But how long have you been training overall?
Overall, a little over 4 years.
Okay.
But
Okay.
The first, when I actually joined the school, it was Kobukan Martial Arts, and I've been with them ever since.
Definitely. And where is your gym located?
We're
For
in
people
East
that
Beach
would
in
be
Norfolk, so we're at the
Okay.
curve of Shore and Ocean View in the East Beach area.
Nice.
Shopping center there. Yeah. Great
Excellent.
location. Yeah.
Well, I was going to ask you, is also, most likely Kyle's going to be watching this here, and I don't know if you guys had an opportunity to talk after the fight and kind of see where we're at, but, I mean, is there any thoughts about what Kyle or anything like that, or anything during the fight, or maybe after the fight, or?
His tolerance for pain is high.
That's a good way to put it.
Yes.
It's ridiculous. I was cranking that Kimura home, and he was just eating it. It was like
I thought
had
it
to
was.
give him
I thought he was
respect
going to
off of
tap,
that.
and he just
I
nope.
really did.
Yeah.
And then when I felt the position change, and I'm like, I didn't want to let it go, but I had to.
Yeah.
Didn't want to burn my grips out, but bravo to him on that. There was a lot of moments in the fight where he could have tapped or got out of it, but no, he stuck it through. So got a lot of respect for him.
I mean, I won't lie. There was a lot of moments where, like, he wasn't tapping, and it looked like it was bad. I was like, is that even a submission? Because my untrained eye, I'm just like, that looks like that bone's not supposed to be going that way.
Right.
But so I'm assuming that's working. It's like, but he wasn't tapping, and I was.
Yeah.
It literally, like I said, it deserved to be the fight of the night, in my opinion. Like I said, it was literally the most technical fight, and you can of course watch that on Fight.tv if you
That's
have
right.
not. So, because literally it was wild. It was wild.
I think the number one thing you do when you focus on training someone who's in the cage, who's in this moment of this battle with someone, right? And adrenaline is just pumping, is to get them to hear you and what you want them to do. And so we train a lot of just stay there, hold that, stay there, keep doing that, stay on that, stay on that, stay on. You stay it again and again, stay on that center. And then the other thing we do that in my camp that I teach a lot of is what we call soft hitting, which is basically just keep beating on someone not raising up and making space, but really just kind of keep pounding in. And there was a couple times where the referee that was in there made an implication that you can't do something, but we know you can. And I kept telling Darryll to do it, like what we call the lube elbow, which is like a bump grind elbow, right? And he was like, you can't do that. No, you can do that. And then Darryll postured up and hit the guy in the stomach. And he was like, watch the groin. So I wasn't anywhere near the groin. So I just kept saying, keep doing it, Darryll. Keep hitting him, Darryll. Just keep doing it, Darryll. And I looked at the camera guys who were next to me, and I go, what do you want to do? And they're like, hit him, Darryll. I was like, you guys are awesome. They were like, hit him, Darryll.
Nice.
But, yeah, it was well played. And like I said, nothing against Kyle. The only thing we started off with the Kyle thing was he did make weight. And so we were like, Darryll called me, what do we do? And I said, well, let's check out make sure we're all on the up and up here. It's not some BS or anything, which it wasn't. He was legitimately trying to make the weight. The Global Combat Alliance came in and said, no, we're not going to let him cut any more weight. He's looking pretty ill. And I told Darryll, well, if he's looking that way and it's legit, let's take the fight. You were going to fight anyway.
Yeah.
You're the only one entitled to the title if you win. He gets nothing if he wins, so it doesn't matter. But you go in there and you do the job that we set up. And don't change anything. Go in there and do exactly what we said. And he did.
Excellent.
We didn't do your homework.
And now everyone is gunning for you.
Yeah.
How does that feel?
That was actually my next thing. Yeah.
I'm
It's lonely at the top, ain't it?
Yeah.
I welcome it. Like, honestly, I think people forget this is amateur. So if you're not challenging yourself when you get to
course.
pros, you're just going to get beat up. So
Yep.
you may as well take as many hard, intelligent fights as you can now
Yeah.
and get ready if you intend to go pro.
Yeah, I was going to say, this isn't the end. This is the beginning. So,
Sure. And that's the thing when we talk about it at the gym. Die a Spartan death, meet someone who's going to beat you up, lose that way, give it hell. You train so hard, and that's also why the making weight and stuff like that's such a big thing in my gym. You get suspended if you don't make weight, because even though it's amateur, but I require you to do the job that you have to do. You said you were going to do it, you do the job.
of course. Well, the two is like, and Jimmy's spoken about it on our podcast when we talk about it, is the amount of time that everyone else puts in. When you make that commitment, even though it's a verbal commitment at the amateur level, the amount of money that he puts in, he, like when the photographer comes out to do your walkout video, like that's not free.
Right.
You know what I mean? The amount of production, like when our video guys got to sit down and do that walkout, all the editing, all the stuff. When we do these podcasts, we have to sit down with people, to hype something up. And we've had this happen where we've done interviews, phone in, Skype in interviews, and then the fight doesn't happen.
Right.
And it's like we spent all this time building something up, and the fans are looking forward to that. So it's like you're not really just letting just you and your team down, you're letting a lot of people down.
Right, and that's what I tell my fighters. And Darryll will be the first to tell you, I have this big thing about making weight, and people come in all the time, we're training under you, wear your banner. And I'm like, no, so it's a joke, but it's a serious joke. People come in all the time, I want to fight under your banner, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like this week. I can't tell me people come in, I'm an MMA fighter. And I'm like, I bet you do. You train here with Darryll? Yes, I train with Darryll.
Yeah.
Do you know him? No. I'm like, you saw him on TV or something?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And I tell Darryll, like, he'd come in, and we have I'll make a specific segue for in Muay Thai. When you make a strike that's really good, the whole camp goes, hey! Like they make a noise, bam, hey! Yeah. So when Darryll walks in, everybody goes, hey! Yeah. So it's very much like the show Cheers. People come in, and they're like, everybody has a nickname. He comes in, Jaws, you come in, Sloth, all these, Chill, all these names, right?
I was gonna say, is Jaws that's your nickname, right?
Yes.
Nice.
And that's I make it that way so that everybody feels they're a part of the thing. Do you know what I mean? The thing I don't do at my gym is put anybody else's awards or trophies or anything like that at my gym. Of
course.
It's you want it, you take it home. It is a team effort. We're all in this together. However, it's your award, your thing. All the stuff in my gym is all mine. But I show them and I talk about, these belts up here, I earn myself. So when I tell you I have a thing to do, you do what I ask you to do. You do it well. And if we lose, we lose. If we win, we're on the same page.
Yeah.
And the Ryan fight, and I give Darryll grief for this all the time. He didn't do any of the stuff that we trained. We talked about David earlier. We brought David in. We trained with him for Ryan's height. We had a whole plan. We tested it out at another place. Darryll came in and said, oh, it's amazing. It's a great thing. He goes in the cage. Boom. Nothing happened the way we wanted it.
Yeah.
This time we had a plan. We set it out. And I said, right before the door closes, I say to my fighters, in the end, just go in and have fun. It's all about having fun. Because this is amateurs. Just go in and have fun. And he went in, boom, and followed everything.
You want to hear a weird thing about that fight with Ryan Parker? So we had a podcast before this when we were not involved with SFL Radio, and we actually had Ryan Parker as a guest. And this was not an MMA cast; it was a comedic podcast. But we would always interview people from different walks of life, and we had Ryan Parker before that fight with you as our guest. And we talked about the fight, leading up to that fight. So I thought that was kind of neat, looking back now, and I'm like, that was the fight with you. That was crazy. That was our first time meeting and talking to him. And of course, we didn't know you, and here we are a year later, sitting down with you, and you got the belt. So I think it's cool how
No,
things work.
that and with that fight, just talking about that fight was Darryl's first major injury, where he had to address,
Yeah.
why you do this, why, what is it worth, and my job as a coach is to go, well, you make a choice, and we got to go through and then I basically package up a deal and say we're gonna do it like this.
Of course. Excellent. Well,
Well, kudos to you. They're coming back after an
Yeah.
injury too. I mean,
Yes.
I know many in any sport, like especially like in football. Like if they get burned out that first year, they get that tagged wrong. Shoot, Mike used to do amateur boxing, and he took one to the face. He told me about it, and he was like, "Nope, I'm done. I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm done. Yeah, this is not for me."
Yeah.
So I mean, to come back from a jaw injury, and I met Ryan. He's a scary dude, but he's the nicest dude. But
Yes,
he's,
sure.
He was a nice
yeah,
guy.
he's a nice dude. So to come back after that and then become champ.
yeah.
And I was also saying, like, so I know you don't keep your trophies and such over at the gym, but if my memory serves me, Jimmy gives one to every fight. So if you retain your title, you'll get
Sure.
another one. So you can hold on to this one at the
Sure.
gym,
Sure.
and he can take the new one home.
Sure.
'Cause I'll be shinier because this one's going in the shower with him and such. So,
That's right.
So
That's the wear. That's the wear around town belt. Hey, we had a fighter that carried his belt around in a Gucci bag. So we've seen everything really. It happens.
But
So you have a belt. I guess you can't comment on it. I've never had a belt, so I don't know what I would do with it.
but
I've been doing
that's-
some weird stuff.
yeah.
Weird
No,
stuff.
And the way he came in with the belt the next day. So he came in Saturday morning. I didn't know if he was going to show up. I had been announcing in the gym, Darryll won his fight, and all the families, everybody's happy. And we were just talking, and he came up to the door, and I looked up and I went, "Oh, he's here, and he's got the belt." And he came walking in, and everybody was like, "Ah!" And the thing that's funny about that is that people, can I take a picture with it?
Yeah.
I don't want you in a picture. I just want the belt.
Oh, yeah.
He's
Can I
like,
hold it?
Sure. but it's funny to see how many people in our gym who have so much respect and love for Darryll, because we're like a family, like he said.
Yeah.
And when he came in the door, people were just emotional with how proud they are of his work
sure.
ethic. I mean, he worked so hard to get to this point. I mean, even if we hadn't won, he worked so hard to come back from this injury, which was something to address for him.
Yeah.
Well, the injury and also the emotional turmoil that you just
Yes.
experienced last year
Yes.
too. So I mean, I'm glad you have a coach to be there for you. And like I said, some people are not that fortunate enough, and it also probably helped. So it's like gave you that drive, and and like I said, we saw the emotion up there. There was no hiding that.
No.
And like I said, I'm pretty sure your pops knows about that too, man.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Definitely. Some of the best pictures of the night. Some of those ring snaps they got.
Yeah, I was
God, now you're getting me
I'm
emotional.
Definitely proud of
I
him.
know.
I was definitely proud of him.
Ooh, I feel like I'm watching a Pixar movie
My
or something.
fiance was the one that put the medal on your neck.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was my fiance. She's a ring girl too, on the side, like for funsies. So but she loved it. She's like, oh my god, he was so like emotional. Like it made her emotional when she put the medal over your neck. She was telling me about it the next day. It's pretty cool.
Making everyone cry, man.
I know, man.
Made me cry. I'm all the way across the field. I gotta watch you at the jumbotron, man.
So now we got SFL 38 coming up April 6th. So we don't know if you'll be defending that one or not. We'll see. Maybe.
It's funny. We had a young man who used to train with Darryll who came after a loss to Darryll. Came in, I want to train with you guys. Came to train with us, and I ended up dismissing him from the gym. Neither here nor there. Just I'm not getting into that, but we had to dismiss him from the gym. And immediately, Darryll wins. Immediately, I want the belt. I want to come in for that belt.
Oh boy.
Calm down, man.
Here we go.
Calm down. It was
go.
Yeah, I get so
You
like
got
Jimmy.
some time to go.
Jimmy doesn't get involved with like the online trolls, but I don't know. Maybe because I'm here at the
Oh
shop
my God,
all day.
yes,
I
he
do.
does. I love
and I
it.
get like super excited with it. and
I'll text you.
Like I poke him and
I'm
get him
like,
all.
yo, what are you doing, man? What are you doing?
Because like when I post our stuff up on YouTube, and I always get these clowns that like comment on a video, and they're like, one dude was like, 2020, get your champs ready, I'm coming, and I'm like, 2020, and I was like, what are you doing between now and 2020, homie? Like, what? 2020?
Did you just start?
And this was in like 2018, yeah. And like he wrote that, and I'm like, a year and a half? Like, what are you doing to get ready that you need a year and a half? And I was like, whatever, dude. Like, it's just funny.
One hell of a cut.
It's easy for people to say
no
things.
kidding.
Yeah, it's easy for people to say. I say he didn't take that long off with a broken jaw.
Yeah.
It's easy for people to say things when they're sitting at home on their couch. It's a lot different when
It is.
they got to do it.
is.
And
it's the same when when I post jiu-jitsu videos, stuff like that. People are like, oh well, that entry, and I'm like, well, first off, I turned 50 this year, so my entry is like an old man entry. You know what I'm saying? And everybody who rolls against me says, damn, it's crazy to roll with you because I'm still super flexible and stuff like that. But I don't lie about that.
Yeah, of course.
But the trade for that is the calmness how I teach, how I instill that into my students about respect and integrity. It comes from my military stuff, and of course, the beauty for my gym basically is I don't require people to commit to me. I require them to commit to the program and their own personal journey. I'm retired Navy, so I was
going to say you're a Navy veteran, right?
Yes,
Yep.
I'm retired, and I require really them to be committed to what they say they're going to do, and it's very simple, but it's not that people aren't taught that.
Yeah.
We have a rule in the gym about the guys can't ask women to roll, but the women can ask the men. Obviously, if it's your spouse, it'll be different. And they have the women train on their side. The guys can't cross that side. But if the women want to, they can go the other side. I just keep it so that everybody has a safety valve, and they can do. And Darryll is teaching kickboxing class now, and it kind of brought him to that. This is about everyone here. It's not just about me and my personal program. And I think it really made him flourish in this last training camp we just went through.
Do you think you have more people from your gym now that want to do what you did, and they want to fight, come into Spartyka and fight more fights?
I would say no. I would say no, but I have seen more people more interested in kickboxing.
Okay.
Yes,
So.
and the jiu-jitsu, because they saw the students who were there were like, wow, the jiu-jitsu was crazy. And everybody's like, oh, Darryll's jiu-jitsu. It's like they focused away from the striking and went right to the jiu-jitsu, which is exactly the whole premise of doing that. When you get in a fight, it's going to end up on the ground, and that's where we're at. However, the kickboxing that we teach and the way we teach and stuff, it really, you can see that people are like, you want to be able to defend yourself. This is where you get started. And I tell people all the time, when the joke for jiu-jitsu is, I'll join when I get a little more fit. Well, there's no fit for jiu-jitsu. And I tell people, there's no such thing as fit for jiu-jitsu. You go in there, you can be the greatest runner ever. Remember the guys that came last night? You can be the greatest runner ever, smashed, and it's just like, oh my God, it's horrible.
Oh, yeah, of course.
So you start with the kickboxing, and you realize how quickly you can implement the kickboxing, the way we do our numbering system, the way we do our focus. All the coaches coach the same way. We do our exercise differently, but we all coach the same way, same combo, same stuff. You pick it up very quick, so people learn instantly how to do it, and then they start evolving themselves, and you'll see them go, I might try that,
Yeah.
And that's basically how we run that program. Just keep everybody, the people come in. So we have had a nice little run over the last week of people coming in for the
Nice.
kickboxing and stuff. Yeah.
Good deal. Well, it might keep up every time he defends this thing. You might have a stack of belts.
Sure.
Hopefully.
Sure.
That's the goal.
So what's next? What are you gonna do now? Just heal that toe up?
I'm going to heal the toe up, and I'm going to train as best I can without re-injuring myself.
Yep.
And
You're still teaching too, right?
yes.
Oh, that's good.
Actually, we had a class tonight, but we had to get somebody to cover us so
Yeah.
that we could.
Yeah.
you
Our
know,
no good class, yeah. And I showed him the video when we got it. We were standing beside. I said, "Look, there's your class." He was like, "Man, everybody's there." He's like, "It's a big class."
If you had showed up for your actual interview ringside, then you'd be at the gym tonight. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
I was limping. What do you want from me?
No, I know. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
No, it's all right. It's all
That's why
good.
we don't chase you guys down. Is like
You would have caught me.
And I shouldn't say this. the correction is that you're not the first ever fighter to miss an interview with us. You are the first champion to miss an interview with us. Because we've had other undercard fighters that don't come back, and we're like, whatever. If you want to come, you come. If you don't, you don't.
Well, I think maybe if I'd have been like, "Oh, you need to get over there and get to that thing," but we weren't. We were like, you okay? We you're trying to help them.
Yeah.
He's an emotional
Of course.
thing,
Yeah,
so
no.
I'm trying to keep him calm.
And we want to get you in the the best frame of mind,
Sure,
and the chillest, and like sometimes the guys sit down and they're like, and I'm like, hey man, we're not in a rush, because they're like, what are we gonna say? And I'm like, chill out, like take a drink.
Yeah, let the
relax,
adrenaline roll down.
Have a water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like they're going to break our table. Like, they're just like, just
Yeah, they
so
get like
much
super
adrenaline.
amped up. We're like, no rush, because we interview you guys in between, so it's like we have the whole next fight.
Right.
It could be 30 seconds or 9 minutes, depends.
That's true. That's true.
But that's cool. Well, cool guys, man. I appreciate you guys coming out. Thank you very much, Ron, for coming out, telling
Yes,
us
sir.
about your gym, and thank you, Champ, for coming out and spending time with us.
Thank you for
And for
having
It was
bringing
well
the
worth
belt.
the wait.
Yeah.
And you know what's funny? just to show you how humble he was, I had to remind him to bring the belt. So he was
Yes.
going to come without his belt,
Yes.
and I messaged him, and I'm like, Darryll, bring the belt. And he was like, I was just about to leave, and I was like, see, because
Yes.
I said in my mind, like, he's probably not going to bring the belt.
And
So,
we got other fighters who, like, we don't even ask them to bring it, bring it, and they're bringing it with them.
yeah,
Sure.
We're interviewing him. They're like this, holding it up, like, and I'm
I was like,
like,
we get it.
we get it.
We get it.
I think that's probably one of the traits about training with someone a little bit older. Like the thing I always talk about is The thing you don't see on me is I don't post pictures of like how many of my jiu-jitsu students won gold medals. A lot of coaches do that. One, because it's their age. It's not a good or bad thing. It's just I'm older, so it's all about them. I let them post their own picture. Tag me if you want, you know. But just remember, it's all about us in the gym. It's a we thing, not a me thing.
Yeah.
It's so important for them. And they all say that too. Mr. Ron says it all the time. It's a we thing, not a me thing. And it's true. It's us.
Well, it sounds like it works. And it shows that it works.
It does.
Which is awesome. Yeah. So either way, I'm sure even if you do not do the next fight, you'll be out anyway. And then you can come and hang out with us at the table.
That'd be dope.
Because in between fights, we love when like Elias last fight, he wasn't fighting, but he came down and sat with us. So you're always welcome at the SFL radio
Can't miss
table.
us. We're on the stage.
Awesome.
Yeah, maybe
we'll have a banner.
Maybe I'll have my backdrop banner in the background. We'll see. What did you think of the Rich Energy?
Oh, it's gone. It was delicious.
I saw you
Yeah,
like
it's
right
gone.
away.
Mine's-
You were
mine's
drinking
gone
it.
too.
So
It's gone.
yeah, no, it's delicious. I'm excited. Partnership with this company coming out. So once again, Rich Energy. You can get it here at my shop. Come on down to Primo Cigars and Coffee in downtown Norfolk. Also want to give a shout out to our sponsor, UFC Gym Norfolk. Dan Brooks, the man over there.
Did you see he shaved his head, man?
I did. Yeah.
He's
Dan
more
Brooks shaved his
aerodynamic
head.
now, man.
He's like he joined the bald-headed
bald-headed
brothers.
bros, yep.
And I wish you could grow a beard, and then we'd be the
This is the best
bald-headed
I can do,
bearded
man.
brothers.
It's very
terrible.
Asian when I grow it. It's like
I
a
know.
Fu Manchu.
I know.
It's like a Fu, I look like Pai
couple more
Mei from
hairs.
Kill
Pai
Bill.
Mei,
Yeah.
Well, cool. But anyway, make sure you guys check us out, SFL Radio on YouTube, on the Spartyka Fight League channel. Hit subscribe. Darryll Lee Tate, look him up on social media. You want to throw that out there?
Yes. I don't put my Facebook out, but if you can find me, I'll probably friend you. You can friend me on. Actually, you can follow me on Instagram at Jaws_MMA_BJJ_gym.
Yep.
Awesome. And you want to learn how to do that, go see Coach.
Yep. We're at Kobukan Martial Arts in East Beach. Come and see us.
All right. We will be back. We will see you guys soon. Don't forget SFL 38 coming up April 6th. Peace.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Spartyka!